From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll start off with the satellite picture here as we get started on Monday morning, and we are transitioning again as we advertised back toward a pattern that's not necessarily going to crank up with widespread accumulating snow across the region, but is going to trend toward a pattern that offers more opportunities for at least, scattered light snow across the region. So you can pick up on the jet stream flow. As we look at the infrared satellite picture, we've got strong flow coming off of the Pacific, lots of Pacific moisture being delivered to British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest. A lot of this has been wrung out by the Rocky Mountains. A lot of this is falling in the form of some heavy snow over our higher elevations to the west of the Prairie, but now we're starting to see some of these disturbances begin to sneak over the Rockies, bring a little bit of moisture with them, and just enough upper level dynamics to kick off some snow. So the active corridor as we head into the week is really going to continue to be British Columbia into the Pacific Northwest, and then at times southern and western Alberta, and then again across the southern branch here, where we're turning more active again across portions of the Ohio Valley and the southern United States. So we take a look at the radar here on Monday morning. We do have some precipitation making its way through the region, some snow showers here between Edmonton, Calgary, and Medicine Hat, making their way down into western and southern portions of Saskatchewan as we head through midday on Monday as well. Now, the NAM model picking up on this fairly well, maybe a little bit lighter with the snow activity here making its way through the region. But as we put this into motion, we see this disturbance make its way out of the region as we get into the later part of the day today. We see a bit of a lull as we head into the evening and the overnight, but then additional little clipper systems make their way through. Here's another one advertised here on Tuesday, bringing some scattered snow showers. And then we'll keep those scattered snow showers and flurries in the forecast into Wednesday morning. Another disturbance here potentially making its way in, bringing more in the way of accumulating snow as we get into the late part of the week. Now, these clipper systems are going to bring some breezy winds with them as well. I know we're seeing some strong winds across southern Alberta, southwestern portions of Saskatchewan as we head through the day today as well. So that will be something that will accompany each of these little systems here. So not necessarily, again, cranking up heavy, widespread accumulating snow, but more opportunities for some snow showers here and some light accumulating snow and some breezy conditions with these storm systems tracking through the region. So here's the upper level jet stream flow as we get started. And again, the two active regions, the southeast United States, and again, British Columbia, Pacific Northwest, at times getting into portions of especially the southern and western portions of the Prairie provinces. But we'll go ahead and we'll animate this. Really, the same pattern continues. We're going to continue to see systems kind of swinging in from northwest to southeast. Again, we've got an area of low pressure over the Arctic, our polar vortex reorganizing up there. And so as we look at the overall flow, which I'll show you in a moment, we're going to be trending colder, but maybe protected from the bitterly cold Arctic air. So what I wanted to show you here was just a little bit of a wider look at the precipitation forecast over the next 5 days or so using the European model. And again, here you see it. This is actually the next 10 days. I apologize. Double what I told you there. But again, you just see the overall pattern. We're just kind of swinging clipper systems here through the Prairie from northwest to southeast. It's relatively disorganized and kind of hard to pin down, especially as we get into week 2. But we'll go a little slower through the next few just so you can see once again. We've got this system making its way through southern Alberta, southwest Saskatchewan today into tonight. Keep those low snow chances into the forecast into the day tomorrow. A bit of a lull here, and then there was that more organized system that potentially comes in here as we get into the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. But again, there's still the chance that maybe more of the moisture is flung off to the north, while at the same time being wrung out across British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest. So still looking for anything that really makes my eyes pop out of the sockets there as far as, a real robust return to heavy snow or heavy precipitation. Really, in fact, we look at the next 10 days overall, total accumulated snowfall, just raw off the European operational model. And again, you can see maybe a swath here across northern portions of the Prairie provinces. But as we kind of circle the region from the Canadian Prairie into the northern plains of the United States, the Dakotas here, scattered opportunities for snow, but certainly not, blanketing the region in a deep snowpack or anything like that. So it's, I guess, a bit tricky to convey. I'm trying to look for specifics when the specifics aren't there. So just broadly, understand the pattern of the next 10 days is just going to trend toward more opportunities for light scattered snowfall as we head through the end of the week. And then we look at the ensemble picture here, the next 10 days of total precipitation. Really, if you want to find higher than average opportunities for that precip, you're going to want to head as far west as you can, closer to southern and western Alberta. Again, the active regions are going to be right here across western Canada, the Pacific Northwest, and then across the southern United States, or the mid-south, I guess, across the U.S. So again, not trending incredibly active, trending slightly more active than completely dead, which is what it's been across the prairie over the last few weeks. This is what I was talking about, looking at the kind of averaged out flow over, this is days 1 to 5, and then we've got days 5 through 10. Really, this is days 0 to 5. We count today on this, but looking at the overall 500 millibar height pattern over the next 5 days, and then the 5 days that follow that over on the right. And again, the trajectory of the jet stream really doesn't change a lot as we transition into the weekend and early next week. But what I wanted to show was, instead of seeing this cross-polar flow coming straight over the Arctic and into the prairie, really much more of our flow is going to be coming out of the northwest, so kind of out of the Gulf of Alaska, the North Pacific, and compared to the Arctic, we don't have quite the cold air reserves back across that region. So we're certainly not ridging across the prairie, which is what you would be looking for if you want the quick transition to a warm spring. I don't think we're going to be plowing into a very warm end to February, a very warm end or beginning to March, but it's certainly looking a little bit colder than average, but not bitterly cold, not Arctic level cold here with this transition. So we'll go ahead, we'll just look at the next 10 days, your high and low temperature forecast from the NBM. And again, keeping temperatures afternoon highs right around the freezing mark, with a bit of a dip here as we head into the end of the week with that system again that maybe brings a chance for more in the way of accumulating snow across the prairie late in the week, Thursday and Friday. You see the same thing here in Medicine Hat. Here's Regina. Look at your next 10 days, Saskatoon, and then Winnipeg. We'll continue to watch this pattern of evolve here as we head into the end of the week, and I'll try and hone in on specific storm systems here that could potentially deliver some disruptive weather to the prairie. But for now, that is what we've got across the prairie. Certainly a bit colder, and then trending toward a pattern that brings more in the way of opportunities for some snow across the region. So if you want a deeper dive into the next 2 weeks, the overall pattern across North America, certainly check out today's Ag Forecast video that was just updated early this morning by Eric Snodgrass, the Ag Forecast guy. And then I'll be back to talk to you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful Monday.